In this podcast episode, Dr. Amir Levine explores the profound influence of attachment theory on our ability to live securely in relationships and how these patterns extend beyond childhood into adulthood. Through a scientific lens intertwined with personal insights and therapeutic strategies, Dr. Levine unpacks the complex dynamics of anxious, avoidant, fearful avoidant, and secure attachment styles. The conversation delves deep into how early bonds shape emotional regulation, the potential for change at any life stage, and practical tools to cultivate security in relationships. Throughout, he emphasizes the brain's plasticity, the power of social connectedness, and the critical role of seemingly minor interactions in fostering emotional well-being. The concept of a secure life is rooted in attachment theory, pioneered by Mary Ainsworth through experiments such as the strange situation test. She identified three main attachment styles in children: secure, anxious, and avoidant. The test demonstrated how toddlers react when separated and reunited with their caregivers, revealing differences in their emotional regulation abilities. Securely attached children calm quickly when comforted. Anxious children struggle to regulate their emotions and seek constant reassurance, while avoidant children appear indifferent but experience internal physiological distress. This early research laid the groundwork for understanding that these patterns extend into adult romantic relationships, as later discovered by researchers Hazan and Shaver. Adult relationships similarly function as systems for emotional regulation. A secure life is characterized by relationships that provide effective emotional support, helping individuals regulate their emotions rather than intensify insecurity and distress. Dr. Levine argues that cultivating secure bonds enhances mental and physical health, improves relationships, reduces susceptibility to consumerism, and even helps people navigate the digital world without anxiety-driven behaviors. This sense of security fosters an internal resilience, creating what can be described as a protective bubble against external stressors. For example, advertising exploits feelings of insecurity, but a secure individual recognizes the emptiness of such pitches. The empowerment that comes from accepting one's attachment style as a variation rather than a pathology offers hope that secure living is attainable, regardless of past trauma or upbringing. Dr. Levine emphasizes that attachment styles are not medical disorders, but natural variations present in the population. Approximately 50% of adults are securely attached, while the rest fall into categories of anxious, avoidant, or fearful avoidant attachment. This perspective contrasts sharply with traditional medical models focused on pathology and healing defects. Instead, attachment styles reflect normal behavioral traits shaped by complex interactions of genetics and environment, rather than deterministic childhood trauma alone. Indeed, research shows that only a small portion of adult attachment style can be explained by childhood attachment, highlighting an individual's immense capacity for change and growth throughout life. While the interplay of genetics and environment shapes attachment, Dr. Levine argues that humans are highly adaptable social creatures. Our evolutionary success depends heavily on collaboration and forming cohesive societies, which is reflected in our neural plasticity. Attachment is not fixed in childhood but fluid, evolving through life as we build new relationships and experiences. Even in animals, preferences for closeness or distance exist as part of evolutionary survival strategies, underscoring the role of genetic predispositions combined with social context. This dynamic adaptability means it can learn to develop more secure attachment patterns through intentional practice and relational experiences. Attachment styles can be understood along two key dimensions: comfort with intimacy and sensitivity to threat in relationships. Anxious attachment involves a heightened worry about abandonment, a need for reassurance, and hypervigilance to potential relational threats. Contrary to some assumptions, anxiety and attachment may reflect an acute sensitivity and perceptiveness, a kind of superpower in picking up faint social cues, which can confer advantages such as early detection of danger, but also pose emotional challenges. Avoidant attachment, by contrast, involves discomfort with closeness and a strong desire for independence. Avoidant individuals tend to withdraw abruptly, seeking emotional distance to protect themselves from perceived vulnerabilities. Both styles have evolutionary advantages depending on environmental context. The fearful avoidant style blends elements of anxious and avoidant patterns, making relationships particularly fraught. Individuals with this style desire closeness, yet find it overwhelming, leading to a push-pull dynamic described as walking a tightrope. Their challenge is balancing the competing needs for intimacy and self-protection, which often results in relational instability and emotional confusion. Therapeutic work with fearful avoidance focuses on helping them find a manageable middle ground and develop trust in relationships without feeling overwhelmed. Attachment bonds serve as a fundamental safety mechanism, enabling individuals to feel secure enough to explore the world. Secure attachment provides a secure base from which people venture out to engage with life but can return to for reassurance. The presence and perceived availability of trusted others modulate emotional and physiological states, influencing mood, behavior, and even physical health. This neural system is evolutionary, born from our ancestors, need to survive precariously positioned in the food chain by relying on social bonds. Dr. Levine highlights research showing social exclusion activates brain regions associated with physical pain, providing biological evidence of how deeply wired we are for connection. The Cyberball experiment illustrates that even being excluded in a simple virtual game triggers distress equivalent to physical pain, unaffected by external compensation or the morality of the excluding parties. Similarly, the Stillface experiment with infants reveals the emotional agony when a caregiver abruptly withdraws engagement, provoking distress reactions that show the primal need for social connection. These findings underscore the profound impact of exclusion and emotional withdrawal. To manage conflict and promote secure interactions, Dr. Levine introduces two practical rules. First, only one person should be upset at a time to allow for effective emotional support and regulation. When both parties escalate simultaneously, conflict spirals out of control. The second, called the Maya rule, states that if both become upset at once, both are responsible for restoring harmony and must apologize to repair the relationship. These rules affirm that emotional co-regulation is a shared responsibility and that successful relationships require mutual effort to maintain emotional equilibrium. Dr. Levine merges attachment theory with neuroscience, showing that the brain's emotional regulation relies heavily on consistency, availability, responsiveness, reliability, and predictability, summarized as the acronym CARP. These characteristics create secure priming, which activates implicit learning mechanisms that shape attachment security over time through countless small, seemingly insignificant interactions, SIMs. The brain constantly updates its model of social safety based on these minor daily exchanges, which cumulatively result in structural and functional changes supporting greater security and resilience. The human brain consumes around 20% of the body's energy, highlighting the high costs of constant vigilance linked to insecure attachment. When the brain feels unsafe socially, it expends energy maintaining hypervigilance and stress response systems. Conversely, secure attachment allows the brain to conserve energy and redirect it towards exploration, creativity, and higher cognitive functions. Therefore, insecurity is not just psychologically taxing, but physically draining. Cultivating secure connections can lower emotional and physiological stress burdens, freeing resources for better health and well-being. Dr. Levine challenges the common belief that closure is necessary to move past emotional wounds. He explains that the desire for closure often reflects an activating strategy, a survival-driven mental effort to re-engage with lost attachments. This mental loop continues until the brain deactivates the attachment circuitry, a process that occurs naturally in its own time rather than through forced confrontations. Instead of seeking closure with the individual causing distress, healing is more effectively supported by engaging with secure relationships elsewhere that provide reassurance and stable connection. The podcast critiques common relationship paradigms, emphasizing strict boundary setting or people-pleasing. In secure attachment, relationships function more like a fluid dance with mutual anticipation and responsiveness, rather than rigid rules or defensive postures. People often implement boundaries or people-pleasing behaviors as adaptive responses to insecure attachment dynamics. Secure relationships naturally regulate needs and emotional give and take without the adversarial or transactional mindset often associated with these concepts. Improving relational security, therefore, shifts focus away from enforcing boundaries toward nurturing, consistent, responsive connection. Understanding one's own attachment style and that of close others can greatly enhance communication and relationship satisfaction. For example, avoidant individuals may need to consciously maintain contact and responsiveness to provide reassurance, while anxious individuals benefit from clear, predictable signals of availability to reduce distress. Recognizing attachment-driven responses helps individuals interpret behaviors more accurately and respond with empathy. Practical communication that maintains the CARP qualities can prevent unnecessary conflict and foster emotional closeness even in the presence of differing attachment needs. Attachment and healing transcend words. Touch and physical connection play a fundamental role in emotional regulation. Affectionate touch lowers stress hormones and activates soothing neural circuits. Even animals and pets demonstrate sensitivity to human emotional states, offering comfort through physical presence. Despite modern society's increasing isolation and reliance on digital interaction, Dr. Levine stresses the importance of physical closeness. Hugs, gentle touch, or simply sitting near loved ones to nurture secure attachment. Such contact communicates care and safety nonverbally, strengthening relational bonds. Practical tools derived from attachment science and neuroscience include stopping conflict momentum by apologizing to oneself and others, using physical touch to regulate distress, and consciously practicing secure priming through small, consistent interactions. These techniques help individuals slowly rewire their attachment systems over time. Even small changes, when compounded, can redirect the cruise ship of relational patterns toward greater security. Acknowledging that change is possible at any stage encourages hope and empowerment for those struggling with insecurity in relationships. Ultimately, Dr. Levine conveys a hopeful and empowering message. Even if one's attachment style has been insecure or painful in the past, it is possible to create a secure life through understanding, practice, and intentional relational engagement. Security is not fixed, but a dynamic state shaped by continual interactions and brain plasticity. Cultivating secure bonds enhances emotional regulation, physical health, social resilience, and the capacity for meaningful connection, offering a transformative path toward happier, healthier relationships.